hope.
Loving.
Life-saving.
My wife and I, in 2009, founded Mentoring Plus, and with the intent to serve the needs of the high-risk population, the youth population in northern Kentucky. Essentially, after about 2 years of research and working in the field of juvenile justice and mental health fields for 30 years, basically I was able to put together a model that we felt would address the needs of the high-risk teen population in the community, and it was one that was very unique in that we were looking at a very long-term approach in addressing the needs of the kids and their families. We also felt it was important that it have a personal aspect as far as mentoring. We know that that is evidence-based. We also believe that working with this particular population and the severity of their needs and their issues that they face in day-to-day lives, that they were going to also need case management or the services of a social worker. And beyond that, we also said we need to wrap in weekly structured programming where the youth are taught particular life skills, job skills, and addressing substance abuse, prevention and education. And finally, as an underpinning of all of that, all of those components, we felt it was important that we have a spiritual foundation, that we were going to offer all of our youth every opportunity to pursue their own personal spirituality. In that way, we felt that it was a complete model, that it would address the needs in the ways that we knew would work and be effective with the kids. And most importantly, we were interested in helping the kids and the families to bring about long-term change.
People hear Mentoring Plus and they think, great, you do mentoring, like that Big Brothers program or like Boys and Girls Club. Sort of, but really not at all. It's so much more than that, and that's the plus in Mentoring Plus. So we do the structured on-site mentoring. So the mentors come here and the kids come here. And they do all these structured activities on a pretty, rigid schedule, right? Because they do better with structure, and the volunteers have all kinds of guidance, and they have staff supervision, and all the logistics are planned out for them. But that's really a fraction of what the kids and families are getting from the program. So they might be here one evening a week with their mentor, but they're getting all this other stuff, all these additional services on top of that, which most people in the public don't really know about. So I want to get the message out there that the plus is just as important as the mentoring. So basically the plus is wraparound social services. So what that means is they're getting intensive, comprehensive, long-term services where we act as sort of the hub for seriously disadvantaged, moderate to high-risk kids in the community and their family members. So whatever the barriers are to success for them, poor performance in school, domestic violence happening in the house, mental illness in their family or in them, substance use in the house. Most of our kids are living in severe poverty. Most of our kids are being raised by either a single parent or what's called kinship care, which is a grandparent or an aunt or some other relative that has taken them on. So that they've got the deck stacked against them and they're up against all this stuff. So we're the hub at the middle, making sure that if they need mental health care, we're going to hook them up with a therapist. And then once they have that therapist, we're talking to that therapist at least once a month. How's treatment going? Are we making progress? Are we having trouble getting to therapy? We'll drive you. That's wraparound. So we do that for mental health. We do that for legal, right? If they're in the juvenile justice system, we're going to go to court with them. We're going to make sure they fulfill all the terms of whatever it is they're supposed to do for the judge. If they're having trouble at school, we're going to school. We're meeting with their teachers. We're doing the IEP meetings. All that stuff that tends to, parents that lack the support and the network and the resources, and frankly, when they're working 2 jobs, the time to deal with all of that stuff that's falling apart in their lives, we're there to pick up the pieces, walk with them, help them try to put it back together, and empower them to keep picking up those pieces even after they leave us. So it's really about the long term. It's got to be wraparound. We never say, well, we don't really handle that here. Now there is some stuff that we can't do. We can't turn the electric back on for you when your power gets shut off. But you bet we're going to get the papers for you. We're going to help you fill them out if you're having a hard time understanding what you're filling out. We're going to make sure that you get those papers turned in where they need to go at all these different offices throughout the city. And then we're going to follow up to make sure that the power gets turned back on. That's kind of what we do. So it's never just, well, here's the phone number you need to call. Good luck, because people cannot become empowered that way. The important part, like I said, that I want people to understand is that we're doing really great things with mentoring, but we're doing so much more than mentoring behind the scenes that they're maybe not going to see. They're not going to see us doing that, but it's happening. And you have to have both. It's combining the power of a genuine one-to-one relationship, somebody that really genuinely cares about you and is going to spend quality time with you every single week for at least a year is the commitment they make. It's that really the power of that relationship on top of the power of evidence-based social work practices. You put those 2 things together and you can really make long-term change for somebody.
My whole career I've had a great deal of experience working with children in the legal system. As I approached retirement, I knew that I would want to get involved in something to help children in need, in the sense that the children I dealt with in court were neglected, abused children primarily. And I just knew that more needed to be done. And Kevin Kennedy, who's the program director here, the executive director, Robin is the program director. Executive director started this program, and I knew him. He was a director in the Department of Juvenile Justice, and I had worked with him off and on for years. And when I retired, he contacted me and told me about this program he was starting with his wife, and it sounded incredible. I thought, well, that's the right thing to do, number one, and number 2, that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. So he asked me if I would be on the board, and I said yes, and here I am. I'm on the board of Mentoring Plus. Our chief fundraiser to operate the program is that Seeds of Hope Award Banquet. We have to raise money. That's how we support ourselves, totally on fundraising and individual contributions. We have a few grants, but they're minimal, $10,000 grants, maybe a $20,000 grant. It's a powerful program. It's very rewarding to come down now and then and watch it in action. These kids need somebody, and mentoring is just so important in today's society. There's so many young people with a dysfunctional family environment, and they need someone to be a friend, someone they can talk to, and that's what this is all about. And it's more structured than that too. They can get educational help with life skills. We have 2 trained professional social workers, as we call caseworkers. So we have 2 of them, and then we have Robin Anderson, our program director, all highly educated in the field of social work, to operate the program. And it's very organized, very detailed. They know everything about these kids. They know their teachers on a first-name basis. If they're in therapy, they know their therapist. They know their parents or grandparents or whoever has custody of them. So it's a very hands-on program.
I'm Laura Schaefer,
I'm Jordan Rice.
and we became involved, or we were matched in December of 2014. And I became involved because I met Robin at a volunteer fair in downtown Cincinnati at Fountain Square. And at the time I was looking to make a direct impact versus being involved as I was in the past with larger organizations.
And I just had a lot of family issues that I was trying to resolve. And they put me in this wonderful program. It really helped me out. Laura's awesome.
I definitely say since the program started, she's more open. We learned stuff along the way that she didn't really necessarily talk about at first. We're always working on being future focused as well, and so being more serious about setting the goals that they have us do,
Yeah.
because stuff's getting real.
You were
She's getting
talking to me
older.
about college like when I was a sophomore.
Yeah,
And now what's happening? What do I do now, Laura?
you have to.
I know. It's like right there.
Now it is.
I know.
2.5 years. The goal setting process is initiated by the program. They give us an idea of what needs to be done, and depending on the program night, sometimes it's more of a focus and sometimes it's less.
Number one goal is probably school. Like to
Yeah.
go and to pass. My relationship with my brother really, because we were really close now. And we're pretty cool. We're like best friends. We used to like fight all the time and get pretty bad. I've like learned coping skills and how to use them.
What kind of coping skills?
How to deal with his anger spout as well as mine. Like the other day we got in a fight. And all I did was go up to him and like gently push him. He just looked at me and I looked at him too. And usually by then we'd be like at each other's necks and we're just like, okay. Just started talking again. Like, I don't know. I grow up, I guess. Really. Yeah.
You encouraged him to get a job too.
Yeah.
He's starting to work
Jake
after a
applied
year
at
of
McDonald's with me.
not doing so.
Kevin, he is awesome. Isn't he like the maker of it all? Yeah. He's some nice old guy with his wife, making a program for troubled teens, using his time and his money to do it just for us to have better lives. I think that's awesome. He's like the sweetest guy I've ever known, really. He would do anything for anyone.